Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about how our self-talk, the way that we speak to ourselves, has a direct impact on how we experience our reality and how we experience our life experiences, situations, challenging circumstances. This is what this video is going to be all about today, and the way that we think and we feel about ourselves. Maybe perhaps when we were younger, not perhaps, now we know, true fact, when we're younger, we just absorb whatever we're told by our primary caregivers, our teachers, the TV, the immediate world around us, the environment that we grew up in. Those messages become embedded in our nervous system and create a core belief system, which is the basis of everything. But now as adults, we get to choose what thoughts we want to hold on to and what we want to change, what we want to discard, because now we know from cognitive behavioral therapy, there is a direct correlation, thoughts, emotions, behaviors. So if our thoughts on a daily basis about ourselves are on the negative end, like, why isn't everything working out for me? Why does every day feel so shitty? Like, why is this happening to me? When a challenge appears, instead of thinking, there's only solutions, not problems, and your narrative is more like, nothing ever works out for me. Everything is falling on me. Like nothing ever works out for me. I'm trying to think of like narratives that I hear through clients and or family and friends, that now I'm so programmed to pick up on, because I feel like that's part of the job that we have as counselors, is to make sure that the narrative that a person can hold is at their highest frequency that it can be, and the way that that narrative can be controlled is by the actual storyline, right? Narrative therapy, like the narrative is the narration of your story each and every single day of your life. Like, how do you wake up in the morning? How do you speak to yourself? What do you say? Do you say, good morning, today is gonna be such a great day, thank you for the great news that I'm gonna be receiving today? And the magic of creating the reality that you want to live in, and not necessarily the one that you're in that would normally have you create thoughts such as, why does everything suck? Why is life so hard? Why is this happening to me? Why is nothing working out for me? Why is this person not getting back to me? Why do my kids suck so much? Why my husband will never change? My wife is too this, is too that, like, or my friend's this, or how could they say that to me? Or traffic sucks, the weather sucks, like. And then, of course, how we speak to ourselves as well. Like, when you look at yourself in the mirror, do you like praise yourself? Do you look at yourself and you compliment yourself? Do you look at yourself and give yourself like a high five? When you think about what you have going on today, or perhaps even like you're thinking about actions that took place yesterday, narratives that took place yesterday, are you beating yourself up? Are you ruminating on stuff? Like, how is your self-talk? And especially in the moments that we quote unquote make, quote unquote, because there's no such thing as mistakes. Those are stepping stones and opportunities for growth. That's what a mistake is. That's what the definition should be in the dictionary. I haven't looked it up, but that's what it should be. A mistake is a setback for a better setup. A quote unquote mistake is an opportunity to rewrite your story, is an opportunity to grow your soul. This is how life works. That's just how it works. I wish I knew that before. I wish I knew that before I had to turn 47 and go back to counseling school to learn this, because in my narrative, my past narrative, when Anna made a mistake, she totally got punished. So my narrative was, mistake deserves for you to be punished, and then punishment creates shame, and then shame creates thoughts and narratives such as, what the heck is wrong with you? How could you do that? Like what is wrong with you? Because shame is very much embedded in the idea that I am a bad person. So then imagine how a person like that feels, right? The amount of negative and shameful feelings that I will have as a human, and that creates my emotional vibrational frequency, by which the law of attraction, there is no other, like by the law of attraction, that becomes the point of attraction due to Newton's laws of energy, like attracts like, that I will gonna bring in more experiences to keep recapitulating that same emotional state, and then those will drive my behaviors. And you can only imagine what the behaviors of somebody like that would be: withdrawal, crying, what else would a person like that do? I can't even imagine, but this is how I used to live my life. Hide, yeah, like feel sad. So then I would like use maybe wine to like numb my pain, or I would project myself onto people. I guess my biggest one was withdrawal. Just withdrawing from situations and trying not to put myself out there, so then I don't have to experience the pain of my childhood, essentially, right? The pain of my childhood core beliefs that I absorbed and my attachment style, the fear of experiencing that same narrative over and over through people, through situations, through circumstances, was so disheartening, and I didn't want that. I would rather just stay home and hide than put myself out there. This is Anna Morphides with Many Hearts Counseling, and now a professional counselor and life skills coach with a complete different mindset that I know works because I have done it. I'm not sitting here today pretending that my life is perfect or was perfect. It actually was the complete opposite of that. My childhood upbringing was quite ridiculous, and I acquired a lot of negative core beliefs, super negative self-view, totally saw myself down here and everyone else was up here. Like, I was definitely not the protagonist of my life. People pleaser, you name it. I was that. But when I decided to go back to school in my 40s and become a counselor, I had to rewrite my entire narrative, and I had to rewrite my own story. And this is why I'm dedicating this channel. So thank you so much if you're tuning in from YouTube and or you're listening on a podcast. And if you like anything about my content, I appreciate any thumbs up, interactions, even concerns, comment, like anything. I'm grateful for anything that you bring forth, ideas for future videos, because sometimes I do run out of things to talk about, but I do encounter all the time opportunities for growth. And now I'm sharing the tools that were gifted to me through my schooling experience with you guys, so we can all live our best lives. Because as we raise the consciousness frequency as a whole, like the whole world, like the world that we live in, will also be a lot more pleasant to be a part of. Like, could you imagine being in connections where we know that, like, when we're feeling anger or upset, that like the other person is a trigger, not necessarily the cause of that. And then we're self-aware and we're self-responsible, and we don't project and we don't point the finger, and we use nonviolent communication, and we watch our narrative in our head, and we don't judge ourselves, because the less we judge ourselves, the less we're going to be judging other people, because there's not going to be any need for that. Because usually the things that we judge other people for are the things that we want to experience, and we are scared to do that because it's not part of our narrative. So we're going back to the way that we talk to ourselves. We'll have a direct experience on our everyday feeling of life. So imagine, like, I wake up in the morning and I'm saying things like, I don't want to get out of bed today. It's raining again today. Ugh, and work sucks and I hate my work and I'm gonna have to talk to that person and I have to make breakfast again and oh my God, like dinner again. Like every day I have to make dinner and all the dishes and it's never ending. And then whatever, like my kids never pick up their socks or this and that, da 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 da. Or never mind when I go to the mirror and I look at myself and I'm like, look at you, like you have wrinkles and your white hair is coming in and I don't know, your body's changing. Yeah, you look like an old hag. Those are the ones that usually come to me to say about myself. And then thoughts about stuff that I did, and I'm like, I could say things like, why'd you get so nervous? And why did you screw that up? And how could you have said that? And how could you have done that? And like, what's wrong with you? Like, human nature, we tend to want to go and do that. But now I've learned, no, I don't let myself go there. So now my narrative is completely different. Every day that I wake up is like, thank you so much for another day. Thank you so much for the wonderful news that I'm going to hear today. Thank you, God, for all my blessings. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my healthy children. Thank you for all my abundance. Thank you for my successful YouTube channel. Thank you for my successful career in counseling. Thank you for my beautiful youthful skin. Thank you for everything and anything I try to find to be grateful for. Thank you for this water. Thank you for this tripod. Thank you for this camera. Thank you. Even if I didn't have a job, say you didn't have a job, instead of feeling like you're such a loser and like I can't believe that like I can't find anything and no one's hiring me. Instead of saying like, thank you, God, for this time that you gifted me today. Thank you, God, for this time, or source energy, whatever you believe in. Thank you for the opportunity for me to work on my resume. Thank you for the opportunity for me to volunteer. Thank you for the opportunity for me to sleep more, work on myself, do that thing I wanted to do, go work out more. Like, how do you choose to look at your life in that moment and speak to yourself, especially in the most challenging of moments, because that is when we need ourselves the most. Because now we know, in order for us to manifest or create the experience that we want to have, waiting for evidence to be there before we can speak to ourselves like that will never work. What works is we speak that way first, and then reality comes and meets us. That is how this universe works. Quantum physics works like that. A reaction happens, and then whatever is released from that reaction will have an equal and opposite reaction. What is that called? But you get what I'm trying to say. Whatever is produced from that reaction, say the reaction from your thoughts in the morning, the frequency of that reaction, right? Chemistry, the potential of that chemical equation, the output of that will attract the same frequency of energy potential to match it. So the narrative that you have 1,000% depicts the experiences that are going to come in for you. And I know this firsthand. Like, I have changed my life completely around. And again, I'm not sitting here saying that like my life's so perfect right now, because it's actually not. It's not as challenging as it was before, because now I understand and my narrative is like so different. But there is still a lot that I want to, create. There's a lot still that I want to experience that I haven't had a chance to yet, because I'm working on changing my past narrative. And the narrative, like it's safe to be me and I don't have to hustle for my self-worth anymore, are like the biggest ones that I'm working on right now. And I know how to apply things now to that, but circumstances and experiences do trigger me, and they make me feel sad, and they make me feel discombobulated, and then I want to go into this narrative and like really judge myself Even be like, how can you still be there? But then again, we can't judge how much time it takes for us to overcome a lesson, to overcome like a core belief. Like, again, if I'm judging that, the narrative that I have in my head is not serving me. Instead of me being like, I got you, Anna. Like, I love you so much. You're going to get through this. I've got you. Take all the time that you need. I'm here for you. What do you need? How can I support you? That already feels so different. But I still get lost in the old narrative. Like, it's wild. It's wild. It's so automatic and autonomic. Like, it's just like, oh. But it served a purpose back then, but it doesn't serve a purpose for us now, right? Because, again, as children, we didn't have the ability to create our own narrative, but now we do. And we're not victims of life. We are the creators of our lives. We are not victims of our lives. We are the creators of our lives. And listen to this narrative if you say that to yourself. Why does every setback turn into a beautiful setup? Why does every no turn into the most beautiful yes? Why do all the tears I cry turn into diamonds? Why does everything I touch turn into gold? Why does life always work out for me? Why does everything find me at the right time? Why does divine time always stay on my side? Why do I know that every challenge is an opportunity for my soul to grow? Why am I so lucky? Why am I so beautiful? Why am I so happy all the time? Why am I so grateful for everything? Why? Like, already, like, that feeling, like, I feel like I'm on top of the world. And like, let me tell you, life doesn't always feel that way. Like, right, the evidence of my current life and situations and no's that I get in my face and or setbacks, believe me, want to make me say the complete opposite. But I know that if I continue in my past narrative, I'm going to go back into that life. And I don't want to go back into the life. I want to stay here where everything feels magical and there's no problems, only solutions, and everything is working out and everything is happening for me and everything happens for a reason, and only good is going to come out of the situation because I love myself, unconditionally love myself, and I support myself in those times where I need myself the most, those times that I want to judge myself the most, where I want to guilt and shame myself. This is where I love myself the most. And why am I so lucky to know this information? I have to say thank you to Rhodes College and the University of British Columbia for teaching me all these things, but mostly Rhodes Wellness College and the experiential learning experience that they gifted us, so we can not only help like change the narrative of the people, but change the narrative of ourselves so we can become the best version and like literally live our best life. Okay, I'm at 18 minutes. I'm going to stop the video right here. Again, questions, comments, concerns. If something in here didn't make any sense, if you wanted me to expand on something a bit more, if you want me to create a narrative for you, I can personalize a narrative for you. It is in your power and your control. It doesn't serve us to stay victim anymore. Although it's a lot easier to stay victim and perpetuate that narrative, that past story, to protect the ego because it doesn't want to change. The death of the ego is a thing. Eckhart Tolle always talks about that. The ego will do everything in its power to protect itself because it doesn't want change. Even if the ego is recapitulating, as I say in the therapeutic world, patterns that keep it miserable and stuck in misery and unhelpful patterns, it'd rather do that than do change, because change is scary and change can hurt. But nothing can hurt more than the past unserving narrative, because that can last a lifetime. Change is temporary. I know it because I've done it. With so much love and gratitude, you have no idea how grateful I am to be here. I'll see you next time.